If you want to watch a couple of DIYers renovate this historic mansion, or just want to hang out for the craziness of our family, then you're in the right place. Hey, what are you doing? Get back here. We're in the master bathroom today and we are working on finishing up just sanding the drywall compound. There's a couple corners that we have left to do that on, and then we're ready for paint. Oh man, it's so dusty in there. Wow. Typically I use a different bag, like a yellow type of bag for my shop vac that's made for drywall dust, but I haven't been able to find one since like March. So I used a paper bag and that dust just blew straight through it. Oh man, it's bad.
So this yellow bag is usually the one that I use. It was the wrong size, otherwise I would have used it. But it does a pretty good job at collecting, drywall dust and whatnot. But I use this paper bag. Blew straight through the bag and right through both filters. All right, so this Zinsser drywall primer is what we're going to use on the sheetrock. It really works well for the first coat on the drywall. It adheres well to the actual sheetrock and then allows that top coat to be like nice and uniform. You guys won't believe it. I just got back from the store and started painting the top coat. I just went in, I was in a hurry, went in, grabbed some white paint, came home and realized it was base. It wasn't even white paint. Let's wire. Alright, so I didn't really explain to you what I was doing while I was wiring. I actually did, but it sounded really bad, the audio. So I just figured I'd kind of show you really quick as far as wiring switches. Okay, so this is what we have. We'll pretend like this is the source of our energy. So this would be like our electric panel or our breaker here. So you have power that is coming from the breaker or from the source through the switch. So this would be hooked up to the switch. The other side of it would be hooked up to the switch, and it would go up to the light bulb here, and then it'd go through the filament or the LED driver of the light bulb, and then it would come back and it'd go straight back to the panel. So typically it'll follow the path of least resistance, so it'll typically go this direction. So if we pull the switch out, I mean, this is essentially what a switch does, right? It's if your power coming through, oh no, there's a gap here, I can't continue to go unless you turn your switch on, and then it's like, okay, now I can go, and then your light bulb lights up and it comes back. So that's what we're doing. When you're wiring up your switch, you tie your neutrals together, and then you have your your line and your load, so your supply, and then the load would be the light bulb, which would go on the switch housing there. So that's what I do. I'd wire that, tie the neutrals together, and then tie your ground to that, so the ground helps, you know, if there's a short, or let's say this thing rubs up against a metal box, then it's just going to load everything up and trip your breaker. So that's why it's important to have your ground. That way you're not just cycling power through that box, and then when you touch the box, you become the path of least resistance. So that's what that guy's there for. But yeah, that's what I do. I tie things together, and then I put electrical tape around it and shove it into the box. So that is a very general description of how we wire the light switches. All right, these are the books that I use. I have so many of these books. This one's for wiring. I have one for plumbing and one for framing. And this is the other box that's really good to have. It's a code for homeowners. So this will tell you like how many wires you can have in a box and all sorts of things. This just covers, you know, pretty much everything for code wise in your home. I'll go ahead and link to the description on, I'll link in the description on where these books or where you can find them. All right, guys, with that being said, I think we're going to call it a night. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.